I'm just saying, if it's the name of the other kingdom, then that separates his claim from the information we've gotten about the royal family. Hey everybody, welcome back to the Stoneface Reactions. I'm Theta, and we're back with another episode of Sentenced to be a Hero. We come back as we normally do with notes and a board, so let's go ahead and look at that board first thing. Where with the board changelog, I have changed Rajit from just being connected to Kivia to being on the same line as Zoflik and Sina. I added High Priest Marlin and put them in the previously blank uncle spot connected to Kivia. I added Ladeo Sodrick and connected him to Bajum and Shiji with a green line. And then I added Iri and connected her to Ladeo with a blue line. I also changed some of the outlines. I don't have it in the key area, but I changed, or I added, rather, a green outline to represent the church, because I think I had some of those people as just being in the kingdom before. And then I added a adventurers guild, because there are adventurers in the world, and apparently they're going to need to be represented. At the moment, the only three are in a different group, so we've got a double layout on them. Other than that, though, that is the changes to the board, so let's go on to notes. So it seems either each Order of Holy Knights has a specialization, or merely that the 12th Order alone does. In this case, investigations. Thus far, we've only met the former 5th leader, the 9th leader, and the 13th leader. I don't know, it's giving me a feeling of Bleach, with the guard captains. The first capital and the second capital. At this point, my guess is that the first capital might be where the church is, and the second capital might be where the military HQ is. A division of church and state, as it were. Given we've had previous discussions about the church and the military trying to decide on what to do with Tiaretta, this could be an indication towards why they're in discussion, and that they might be in opposite ends of a government, whatever government's going on here. In the fact that we also know there's a royal family, so I don't know why they're deciding, if the royal family should be deciding. Stupidly, I was going to investigate the papers across the desk for any reliable script. Obviously, I'm talking near the beginning of the episode, and it's all mostly in that blurred print that I've been complaining about before. The only thing legible was the one with an image of the guy on it, and I was about to start deciphering his name when I realized that I at least remember enough of the script to see that Ladeo Sodrick was the name on the screen when it was there, and it's his name, so saved myself from a waste of time. As I said before, holding on to the belief that Venetim's tattoo was modified to prevent him from speaking the truth about what he knows, I just can't figure out how it works, given that he seems fully able to hint at a greater conversation, or what he used to write about, as per what he was about to say or did say at Mareed. I mean, before the night attack, and what he's just talking about here. Maybe he's only able to start. Maybe we're only getting the implication he's able to start the conversation. He can't initiate it, though. So Bajum was just found in a tavern, killing people, when he was brought on board this coexister group. Ladeo says he killed 10 adventurers, but beyond Shiji, we really don't have a scale for how strong adventurers are, or how strong the ones he killed were. I wonder if there is some theme going on connecting Altiard, Comet to both the Xylo and Bajum. If Bajum turns out to actually be Spriggan, then it could be a matter of we're not so different, you and I, going on. The fact that I couldn't translate any of the book that I've seen certainly doesn't help give me any ideas as to what has both of them so into it. I should say, I took a screenshot of the book as it was in frame, and I spent 5 to 10 minutes translating the cover to see if there was any clues. Waste of time. It's Dragon Drunk and Altiard Comet without the O in their name that the subtitles gives it, so I guess the subtitles are also mistranslating, now that I can read the text myself. It's the exact same book that Xylos is reading, though, so back to the original question on that one. I imagine the breakfast talk was meant to leak information to whoever might be a mole, given how everyone was listening in and how loudly they were talking. Assuming Dada isn't lying, then the Crown Prince is locked away and trying to escape. interesting that he's the first prince as well. I don't know why I air quoted that. I don't know why I air quoted it in my notes either. Implying a greater family of similar aged princes, though this one only being 10 would mean that the rest would still be younger. Still, we already know about the infiltration from Venetum's flashback. Now we know the king is acting different, as well as the rest of the royal family. But an unfinished sentence about the Chancellor could mean anything. Glasses guy could be the Chancellor for all we know. Got another shot of the dais in the judgment area, took a screenshot, tried to translate it. It's the same angle that we've seen a number of times now. Vidium, demonic phenomic, abhorro, diesor, et. As you do. I'd add Dursami to the board with an empty box once we figure out who they were, but chances are even that they'll turn out to be a creature just as likely as to be a person, so kind of a wait and see with that one. And my final note here. I had marked Eerie and Ladeo as family, but she might be using the term in a different way. I'm only suspecting that now, due to how how he turns to look out the window and says he's doing it for his family. There are so many ways that could go, and I wouldn't know where to begin. Namely, is his family being held hostage? Is he trying to save his family from something? Is his family infected with the blight, and the demons have promised him a way to save them? The fact that Eerie is there, and he's saying this, adds to that confusion. More stuff to remember, and try and figure out later. Anyway, that were my notes. Anyway, those were my notes. That was the board. Nothing left to do but hop on in and see what we get.
But before we get started,
make sure that you hit the like button,
hit that subscribe button,
comment down below to feed that algorithm.
On top of all that, if you want to watch more shows like this, unfiltered,
uncensored,
and uncut,
as well as some early access stuff,
you can check it out over on the Patreon.
It's just $5 a month, but hey, no pressure.
There's zero pressure in order to do that. It's just a little bit of extra support, and it would be greatly appreciated.
That graffiti was actually legible. I think I might have been able to read that. Yeah, this is a sorry state of affairs, although that guy's teeth are fucked up too. Oh, so he's not in the same building. He's across the way. Is that a whistle? I'd definitely be able to read the whistle too next time. That was a key. And really evidence. I didn't bring it up in the notes. It was also very interesting that he wanted them captured, not killed initially. Okay. I guess it really is family then. Again, that was a question I had in my notes. Also, I don't know what's going on with the shadow, because I legit was expecting something from, like, The Thing. They're both holding their hands in the shadow, right? And I expected, like, something burst out of one of their chests and rip the other one apart, and then we go to the opening. Yeah, but they're not in the same building, so I guess the whole complex area is the Adventurers Guild. Or that he's just staying away from the building where people might look for him. But yeah, I mean, they're very implicitly showing the state of affairs of the city by, the first time when we saw Xylos and Kivia walking through, and now whoever the hell those people were running through. Is that the afterlife, you think? Sorry, I shouldn't be referencing the opening since YouTube can't see it, so I just have to wonder because we're what 9? This is the 9th episode. I've come to understand now that there's only 12 episodes, and there's going to be more later. But I have so many hanging threads that I don't think we're going to answer all of them by the end of this. But the show is just going to be more complex, or the source material is more complex than can be answered.
サイドめ、本当にここまでが計画していたことなのだろうな。そう考えていることを願うわ。だとしたら、信じられんほど乱暴だ。行くぞ、こいつら。
That's muscled up leg you got there. This was the element that the adventurers can have any kind of gear they want, right? If Shiji is anything to be judged by. Someone's played a lot of Aladdin. Yeah, I mean, we just got back from fighting a lot of demons. People are nothing. My cabbages! You were literally just punching these children in the face. You can't really care now. I mean, they're basically assassins. We called them this before.
戦い方は分かりましたか？正規手段の方。ザイロ、この後の計画は、その頭の中には果物よりもマシなものが詰まっていることを期待しているのだけど。
We're back to the insults.
そうすりゃ、リレオソドリックも無視できねえ。
Why not? Do we think he's like the boss? I mean, we know he's the boss of the Adventuring Guild, but... I just don't know why we think he's the kind of guy who'll come out to fight you. I mean, we already know he's the guy who's burning his stuff in his room.
俺たちはよし冒険者ギルド筆頭スケブリと共にかける巨人狩り戦士団だぞ知らねえよてめえらもう勇者いらねえ来所
I already forgot what they're called. Daisies. Daisies. Those seem to be pretty weak ones. They don't even damage the buildings. So they're not even marking the buildings, they're just like kind of splashing off of them. Yeah, as compared to that thing. Again, these gotta be weaker adventurers, because again, we've seen Shiji. So they've gotta be lying about being the top tier adventurers. Okay, see, I was right. It's basically a creature. I forgot what I called him. It started with the D name. Why did he have a wooden key? Sorry, not this guy. I'm just thinking back to what he threw in the fire. So there's a series of reject Batman villains who are all like, one guy's got a batarang stuck in his head, the other guy's got a boot for a face. Just reminded me of that. I mean, you can see King's new leg. I wonder why they brought Ryjack with them. Yeah, the hero company is gonna fuck you up.
奴らの挑発には乗るまい。重要なのは所在を悟られないことだ。
Okay, that's what Dota's up to. Oh, he's the king of Met. Sorry, Met's the kingdom I keep referencing is the other kingdom. Right? It's not the name of this kingdom. I'm just saying, if it's the name of the other kingdom, then that separates his claim from the information we've gotten about the royal family. It's something. I guess he hasn't cleared things up with the dragon. Still angry with him. Jesus. I mean, in fairness, they were warned. Okay, thank God. I was about to say, does he have a thing for every animal? What does he have stabbed through him? Is it like an infected spear? Is that an anchor? I don't understand why they brought Reggie with them. Oh, yeah, she's just like a tiny Gilgamesh. Or the head padding, of course. I guess he's just slowly getting over the memory of, what's her name? Even though he seems to awake from the nightmare of it. Heroes, obviously. It's just ironic that this is a world where heroes and adventurers fight because, you know, two different things.
すごく悪いやつに脅されてさ、僕は嫌だったんだけどね。あんたには悪いんだけどさ、
Oh no.
お願いだからちょっと
I feel like he's a bad guy, but I feel worse for Eerie, the assassin girl. Yeah, I feel bad for her because she's a child, even though I've watched a bunch of other children being assassins at the hero party anyway.
かなり面倒なことになっているようだな。リデオ・ソドリックは死んだかもしれん。
まったくひでえな。せっかく出てきたのに依頼人が死んだってのか。
Obviously, it's Rhino. We know him from the opening.
報酬がなければ話にならんぜ。
Also, he was locked up for being too much, I guess. Oh no, that's not Rhino. That's Iron Whale. Was that said? Sorry, I thought he was Rhino from the opening sequence, who was wearing a black armor sort of thing.
まあ君に手伝えと。いや少し待って。そうか、ここまでか。
Okay, the blight can even infect the bugs. There's no winning here.
リデオ・ソドリックは切り捨てることになった。君たちの目的は金だろう。
I've said the same thing about Return of the Living Dead, where you have zombie insects.
何？
依頼主は我々だ。こいつら。やめろ。失礼だぞ。
Again, kind of have a problem with killing your own men.
ブージャム、お前は
報酬は支払う。それで人間は真面目に働いてくれるんだろう。俺は構わんぜ。
Oh man, I was about to say it's gonna suck if literally these guys are just in it for money.
立派な顧客だ。で、何が望みだ、依頼人。依頼人は俺ではないが、まず我々とリデオ・ソドリックのつながりを消せとの命令だ。文字通り。
That doesn't make any sense. Oh, the without the trace part, maybe.
いいぜ、俺の得意分野。
So it'd be kill everybody who
努力に感謝する。指示
who
は
knew?
君はどうする？君は俺の教育係だ。恩義がある。あまり殺したくない。
それは人類に離反しろという意味だな。
何か困ることがあるのか。俺はリデオ・ソドリックから大事なことを教わった。人間というものは自分と自分の家族を守ること。それに準ずる利益を確保することが最も大切なのだ。
I mean, to be fair, Shiji kind of taught you part of that too.
守るべきものがある。それが人間だ。違うのか?
Okay, I guess I wasn't wrong initially. He is Spriggan.
司法を見張れ。食材として世に使え。人民のために働くのだ。行くぞおめえら。
ザイロ、私たちは2階を見てきます。もしかしたら物的証拠があるやもしれません。
Sure, if you can put ashes back together.
さあ、反省しなさい。速やかに己の過ちを懺悔するのです。どうです？この者は女神の意向に打たれているようですね。
そうは見えねえがな。
I'm just gonna assume that Eerie is just gonna like throw daggers through a window at some point.
お前たちを殺そうとした。だが依頼主については何も知らん。
それは困りましたね。
何受けるな。言っておくが、お前の立場はだいぶ厳しい。本来は聖騎士団に引き渡すのが筋だが、そうならないようにしてやってもいい。
おい、勝手な取引をするな。
だったら単純な方法で脅すか？こいつは暴力に慣れてると思うがな。
So hell of a time to interrupt now,
取引
Kivia.
をするなら、こちらの条件を飲めるか？ 一応聞いてやる。私の妹や弟たち、家族の無事だ。あの気味の悪い子供のことか。
I'm assuming those were orphans.
と約束すれば、取引を考えてもいい。
Well, I guess they were his kids. I've been wrong a lot lately.
わかった。
ザイロ、貴様にそんな権限はない。
じゃあ探し出して殺すか。こいつの目の前で一人ずつ拷問するとしよう。
そうは言っていない。
なら黙ってろ。リデオ・ソドリック、話せるところまででいい。簡単な取引だろ。目的は女神の抹殺。依頼主は強制派を名乗った。
Yeah, we already know about that.
そいつらの名前か。
I just kind of assumed that they were coexisters. Maybe I shouldn't have applied that title to them.
取引と言いながらも実際のところ
That's definitely Glass's guy, isn't it?
服従か強制か死か。
I feel like the outline of the face matches.
その後は仲介の者と3度だけやり取りしたが、奴らはどこにでもいる。死にたくなければ役に立つところを見せなければならない。死ぬのが怖くて人類を裏切ったってわけか。あんたなら抵抗できただろう。
Oh, this place is rigged to explode.
魔王に明け渡し、その下で人類を管理するつもりらしい。要するに奴隷とその奴隷の管理者と支配者だ。すでに各地は汚染され、大勢の者が命や土地を奪われている。
Yeah, I mean, they should have been married. We already know about them.
ならばせめて管理者の座に滑り込まなければ。
Okay, the next 3, I guess.
家族のために
3 episodes left, right?
言い訳なんざ聞きたくねえ。もっと役に立つ情報を言え。でなきゃ取引はなしだ。黒い仮面の男、その名前だけなら聞いた。いえ、どうせ偽名だろうがな。マハイゼル・ジエルホフ。
ふざけているな。
Does that name sound
マハ
familiar?
イゼルは聖人の名。第一次魔王討伐における神殿の指導者だ。それに
Zelkov, that's part of the name sounds
ジエル
familiar.
コフというのは。待て、もう一
Damn it, I need revelations.
何事だ。攻撃か。これも金のため、おとなしく沈んでくれよ。
It's in my notes. The name is in my notes.
逃げろ、外だ。
何
王兵かよ。
Oh, we're at the end already.
ザイロ、急ぎなさい。
キビア、さっさと。
待て、あの男が。待て。
逃げろ、死んでるか。
Well, wasn't Eerie. I don't know why I was suspecting her rather than the group of 3 that we literally just saw on a roof together.
また来るぞ、セロ。
なんだよもう。街中でこんなことする。どうかしてるよ。
せめてニーリーがいれば。おい、ニーリーのせいにすんな。殺す。
What now of all times?
敵に砲兵がいるならライノーの力が必要であろう。何としても懲罰棒から引っ張り出さねばなるまい。
I mean, it would be fun to get our armored guy against their armored guy.
リデオ・ソドリックを追うぞ。
ああ、そうだな。あの男の話が嘘か本当か。確か
Zelkov. She seemed unconcerned with the first name. The second name, though, and that's the name that sounded familiar to me. Oh, we did get to see Yuri again.
イリなのか。
兄さん、
イリ。
ご無事でしたか。
Oh, I thought it was going to be a trick. I thought she was going to kill him, turn out to be somebody else.
ギルドは失ったが、命は拾った。他の子供たちは。
聖騎士団に捕らえられた数名以外はすぐそこに。
よかった。多少の取引は必要になったが、お前たちはもう安全だ。
取引。
Oh no, she's gonna fucking kill him.
兄さん、何か喋りましたか？
She's gonna be more loyal to a group than is to her brother.
そうですか。
イリー
There we go. Oh.
すみません、兄さん。念のためです。
Is she Spriggan? Is that what's gonna be the turn out to be?
お前イリーは
死にました。体と脳を使わせて
Fucking knew it.
それ以外の子供はあちらに。
Ah, damn. Fuck.
そんな私の大事な家族が
I kinda feel bad for him.
兄さんだった人。
I mean, I feel bad for him in this aspect. This is fucking horrible. Jesus.
少し計画を早める必要が出てきました。
I guess this explains
この街
Bajoom.
を破壊する準備を。人間
I'm
は
assuming Bajoom is the same thing as Spriggan
形あ
here.
るものは全て灰に変えます。特に女神テオリッタは何を犠牲にしてでも殺さなければなりません。
少し時間をくれないか。リデオ・ソドリックを弔ってやりたい。
その必要はありません。あなたは私の指示に従うよう命じられています。
申し訳ない、リデオ・ソドリック。本を買ってくれてありがとう。
ブージャムだけでなく、皆さんのご協力が必要です。無論、お約束通り報酬は。
Yeah, but we've just seen what you do to the threat of just talking.
聞いておきたい。お前のことは何と呼べばいい？
スプリガン。私のことはスプリガンと呼んでください。
Yeah, again, the threat, though. The threat is that they can inhabit your body and take your mind. Like, I don't care so much about the body element. I'm using her body and her mind, specifically said. Meaning that it's possible that they know everything that the body knew. And if it's a moving creature, it could be accruing a lot of information over time. You know, take a military commander's body, suddenly you know the movements of the military. Take one of the church people's body, you know the movements of the church. And you keep that information, I assume. Very dangerous shit. Again, the reason I was saying I didn't feel so sorry for him is because he used his family as, like, an attack source. Any of those kids could have been fucking killed in the attack at the end of the last episode. So he clearly didn't care that much, or he thought they were really good and weren't going to die that way. Which, you know, not evidence-based assumptions. Obviously, though, horrible to find out that the one, I guess, the sister that you cared about the most is already dead, stabbed through the chest and fucking exploded. Yeah, that was fucking horrible. But I was saying before, though, before we get into the rest of this, Zelkov. I think it's my note from episode 1, in fact. I'm not exactly sure what is being implied by the soldier that dies with the caravan. The priest-type figure seems to be praying to Zelkov. And now, knowing that there are goddesses, is Zelkov one of those, or is Zelkov a male god in a matriarchal pantheon? The symbol he was clutching, blah, blah, blah. Anyway, the point being is these are my thoughts from episode 1. That's where Zelkov gets mentioned. I don't remember the name that they gave first. Alright, sorry. I was clicking the next button to see if I had mentioned Zelkov anywhere else in my notes, and I know there's going to be a noise if I hit 0 after that. So, yeah. Zelkov was mentioned in episode 1 as somebody that was being prayed to. That's it. And not for nothing, Kivia was seen to be mentioning that the initial name was also somebody from the first war. Sorry, that's definitely something I'm gonna have to go back and figure out. I will say the end of the episode was the most interesting part, mixed with a little bit of what Bajoom was doing before Spriggan showed up. Because the rest of it was just fighting. The fighting is cool looking and everything, but I'm still hooked on what the mystery is, what's happening, who's happening. and the element that we're running out of episodes to figure it out in, and not for nothing, there's things happening that I want to know, right? I want to know what was written on the key. Why was something written on the key? Why is there a wooden key? There was some graffiti at the very beginning of the episode. I'm going to have to try and translate. Why do they want Tiaretta specifically dead? And why did they want to capture Xylo specifically instead of killing him? I mean, if they couldn't capture him, killing him was on the table, but why capture him first? Is Spriggan after Tiaretta specifically because she's here? Or would they have been after Tiaretta specifically to begin with? My guy, Norgale, mentioned specifically the kingdom of Met, which is the only other kingdom we've heard of so far. I don't know if it might be an alternative name for this kingdom. If it is, then it throws everything off for me, because now I'm thinking maybe he's the king of a different country, and that's what's not been explained. And once somebody from that country sees, that might be everything. The only thing throwing that off is that one priest dude from the was it Gwent mines? The mine area, who recognized him as somebody that was at the academy. Then again, he could be a foreigner attending the academy. It was like there's so many plates still spinning in the air. We didn't really get to see his leg, I don't think. Because remember, he had his finally got a replacement on his leg. Just waiting to see that. Yeah. I don't know, there's a lot going on there, but again, a lot of it is stuff that I don't immediately have thoughts for, only specifically because I want to confer with a rewatch to take the notes about translating stuff, but then also combine it with my previous notes, because I still don't know. The Zelkov thing, I gotta I gotta rehear what the first name was, to try and see what Kivia might be thinking. Obviously, she lives in the world, so she'll have deeper and more in-depth thoughts than I possibly could. Yeah, I don't know. I think the person wearing the mask was our glasses guy, because they seem to have a similar shape head. I think the hair color behind the mask was the same, which I guess throws out my idea that maybe they're the good guy. I mean, we can get real convoluted, and being in the convoluted space can mean anything. So, still on the table, sorta. Think that might be it. Off the top of my head, I got nothing else coming to me, and I do know that this is going to be, at least hopefully, a somewhat in-depth note section next time. So yeah, I was thinking out there. I think that's it. So, until next time then, once again, I have been Theta. This has been Stoneface Reactions, and as I just said, we'll catch you next time. Bye-bye.
Hey everybody, thanks for watching another Stoneface Reactions. If you have an idea of another video we could go ahead and watch, go ahead and put it in the comments down below and we'll add it to the wheel. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and let us know what you thought about this video, what parts you liked. And until then, we'll see you next time. Is this too goofy?